Hi, welcome to DramaMeans Podcast. Today is our last episode of the season and last episode of the year. So we are going to do our DramaMeans 2023 award ceremony. And by award ceremony, the award is us just saying the winners. We have no actual physical award. We will not be presenting an award.
It's just our recognition.
Yes.
Our recognition and admiration.
Yes. So today we're going to start with our first category. It is the best slow-mo hair flip.
Which I feel like the reason we're starting with this category is that it's hard to do a romantic drama without the slow-mo hair flip. It's basically a quintessential piece of the romance drama genre. I mean, how can you not recognize the best slow-mo hair flip?
Yes, yes.
As you can tell, some of these categories are going to be stupid. Some of these categories are going to be a little quirky, and some we'll get serious near the end, I think.
Yes. So the award goes to Che Se-kyung, played by Solina from Twinkling Watermelon.
And are we talking about the one where she gets off the motorbike and she pulls the helmet off and she's all like, "Hi, I've arrived on my motorbike"? Or is there a specific hair flip?
No, it's the first one where she Hayi-chan first sees her coming out of the school and she's got her cello on her back and then she's walking down the road slowly and then her hair just goes flippity-flip in the air.
Oh, so she has a couple good hair flips in Twinkling Watermelon.
She has 50, I don't know.
There's a lot of slow-mo hair flipping for her. Because she cuts her hair.
Yes.
She has long hair that she hair flips.
Uh-huh.
And then she cuts her hair. And the motorcycle scene I'm thinking of, or the moped scene where she goes to the school and he sees her when she takes off the bike helmet for the first time. Or it's not at the school, it's where she rides up on the bike and it's like, "Oh, is that her? Is that her?" And she's all like, whew. So she has a couple.
Yeah, okay.
Well-deserved, and making history as the first ever award winner in the DramaMeans Awards Ceremony. So.
Yes, definitely. We'll have to go notify Solina for her wonderful performance.
Next time we see her around,
Yeah.
Okay, so the second category, we're going to stick with the hair theme. Because hair is very important in these romantic dramas. We're going to go best wig. Now, if you watch enough costume dramas, you know the wig games have to be on point because nothing can ruin a lead character's entire portrayal other than a shitty wig. So, best wig's important. It's an important category.
Yes. So we do not have the same winner. So now there's going to be two separate winners for this category.
There are no rules.
So my winner is Kim Jun-hyung, who plays the young Yoon Dong-jin in Twinkling Watermelon. And it's that 80s, it's 90s, but the hair is totally super 80s. But it's this 80s rocker wig, and it actually kind of looks like his hair. It's just, usually it's it looks bad, and it's covering his eyes or whatever, but it actually, he pulls it off so well, so I would like to give him that award.
I mean, I think that's pretty fair. He was pretty good. For me, I think this is a little bit of a controversial take on the best wig, because it's not really a wig so much as it is a bald cap, but Wu Xing from Blood of Youth, played by, what's the actor's name?
Liu Shui.
Yeah, I think that, having done bald caps on TV before, it's hard. It looked fantastic. He looked like a monk. I'm going to give him the best wig.
You don't know what you're fucking talking about. That was his head.
There's no way.
That is not a bald cap. He literally shaved his head. You can literally see the little hair growing off of his head.
No. That's just how good the bald cap was. No. They make bald caps that have the little hair. His head was too perfect to be his real head.
Literally, that's his head. You're giving an award to the guy's head because he has no wig on and no bald cap on.
Well, okay, if that's true, what about the kid from Oh No, Here Comes Trouble, who was mom was a hairdresser and then he had that weird funky hair?
That was also his own hair.
Well, then I'm just giving the award to the best hair. Because some actors don't need wigs, and they just use their own heads. They do their own head acting. So that's my award. Mel gave best wig. I'm giving the best real head.
All right. Well, Ryan fails at this award ceremony already.
We're giving a lot of awards for hair because the third category somehow is worst wig. This has gone off the rails 3 awards in. No one is watching this award show. Like, no one is tuning into, like, the Oscars and the DramaMeans Podcast Awards. You know what they give awards for? Hair. Hair of all kinds.
So the worst wig, in my opinion, and literally it looked so awful, I couldn't take it seriously. And I think, okay, I'm going to present it first. I'm giving it to Frank, who plays Eat in Love Syndrome 3, which is a Thai BL. I think Frank actually, like, went to some kind of military school, so he had to shave his head. So then while he was filming for this drama, he had to put a wig on. Which I don't understand why he needed the wig, because literally he could have just had short hair. But, like...
Maybe they just thought it was too short and, like, militaristic.
Yeah. So anyway, but he had this terrible wig that was, like every so often it would, like, move. Like, to the side, and then, like, his part would be in, like, the wrong spot or whatever, but it was so terrible. It looked awful. It was, like, it made Frank look very unattractive. It was just completely, like, not a good wig. I feel like they could have done better with the wig, but yeah. So, anyway, award goes to Frank, in my opinion.
My award for the worst wig goes to the character Song Xiangyun from Love You 7 Times, because that wig was just doing too much. Like, it was like curly cues, and it was trying to be cutesy. Like, I honestly expected it to fall off her head in every scene.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think it like works with her face very well, and so it's this classic kind of like little maid, young girl, costume drama, hairstyle, but it just, I don't know, it made her head look a little, like, puffier. I don't know how to explain it. But it was not cute. Like, I know they were trying to make her look cute because she was, like, at the time she was playing, like, a younger character. But it just, like, it didn't work at all.
And this was the hair that when she was in, like, the other realm, right? When she was in, like, the heavenly realm?
No, it was when she had...
Oh, right. It was their second, their first human reincarnation when she was, like, playing the younger version of herself as they were growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
It really didn't work. All right, now on to the more serious, hard-hitting categories. And this is a category that... a lot of these dramas put so much emphasis on the food. Like, especially, like, the costume dramas. Like, they're always eating and having tea, and there's banquets. There's so much story that revolves around the food. And also, everyone is always being poisoned. So, like, if I was in old times or fantasy times, I would never eat anything, because it just feels like it's always poison. So, we're going to give an award for the worst cooking.
And so, for me, I would present this word to Zhang Hezhen from Oh No, Here Comes Trouble, because he literally, like, scares everyone off with his overly sweet cupcakes, which also, like, he used sugar to kill people, so...
Yeah, they're evil. They're evil cupcakes.
So, yes, like, how could you want these cupcakes? So this is worst cooking ever, is these overly sweet killing cupcakes.
I actually gonna go a different direction, because this character only cooks one time in the whole series, and it's enough to clear the room. And that was Yoon Chung-ah from Twinkling Watermelon, who, again, she doesn't cook at all, and it's like she's trying to do a nice thing for the family and the guys at the boarding house, and everyone is just like, oh, thanks, I'm gone. Which I thought was funny that they decided to highlight her bad cooking for one scene. And so I'm like, well, it must be really bad.
Well, it's not to highlight her cooking, it's to highlight that Ha Yi-chan will eat her terrible cooking.
Yes, but I mean, it's so bad. they just had to fit it in there.
Yeah.
It's such an integral part to her character.
But obviously it changed because Han-gil basically was like, oh, I miss my mom's soybean paste. Oh, no. Sprout soup or soybean paste soup. Something. He missed her cooking was the thing. So it obviously got better.
Well, or she just indoctrinated her children with horrible cooking.
Oh, yeah. My mom did that to me.
There you go.
Anyway. So our next category is the loudest performance. And it is unanimous between us.
There's no question.
No question. The award goes to Chungwoo from Miraculous Brothers.
I feel like if you could really statistically break down that category, I like him as an actor. I think he's like very charismatic.
I think he's a very good actor.
He holds the screen really well. But if you were to like break down that show, I bet more than 50% of his lines are shouted.
Yeah.
Like, he's screaming half the time.
Yeah. The sad thing is a lot of times, I think he's like that in general. Like, a lot of his acting is shouting. So, in previous characters, he shouts a lot. In this particular drama, he shouts a lot. So, yes, the loudest performance goes to Chungwoo.
Yeah, and I don't even think there was a close second in this one. Like, it was, we both were like, oh yeah, that's easy.
Yes.
The next category, we're going to go for something a little more cute, which is the cutest cuddle. Because it feels like I get accused, by the way, of not liking romance and not liking relationships, and I only like action, and I only like when things blow up. But I really picked the cutest cuddle here. And Mel just happened to agree with me.
We said it at the same time. You can't say you picked it.
No, I picked it first. 100%.
Anyway. So the cutest cuddle goes to Han-gil, Ha-yi-chan, and Harmony, which is the grandma. So in Twinkling Watermelon, there is a scene where Ha-yi-chan is trying to cuddle with his grandma, and Han-gil kind of goes in, and there's like a little trio cuddle scene, and it's super cute, and just shows like how good their relationship is, and how much like Han-gil just loves his dad and his grandma.
Well, it's his great-grandmother, right?
Oh, his great-grandma, yes.
And because he'd never known her by anything but like he was like so young when she died, so he never really got to have any physical affection with this woman. And now he's gone back in time, and he gets to not only have words with her and eat with her and talk with her, like the idea of like, I just get to hug my great-grandmother and tell her how much she means to me and how good she took care of my dad, all these things. And then it was kind of they played the intimacy in that show so well. Like, they didn't go over hammy, and they kind of made a lot of things a joke. And so it was almost like the two guys pestering grandma for a cuddle.
Yeah.
And she's like, get off me, get away from me, even though you know she's loving it.
Yeah.
It's a really good moment in that show.
Yeah, definitely. So our next category is the fastest drop. Like the drama that we just were like, oh, can't stand it. We're going to drop it like immediately. So for my choice is, it's a 2023 Thai BL called Low Frequency. I watched one episode of it. I hated it so much. The acting was bad. It was like, I don't know, they were trying to do like this kind of like, the guy's in a coma, and he like somehow goes and looks for this guy that he has a crush on, and the guy sees his spirit. But it's just, it was so bad. I dropped it so fast. I couldn't stand watching it. So, yes, Low Frequency for me.
Now, for me, mine is a 2023 Chinese firefighting drama called Fireworks of My Heart. And I think within 15 minutes of starting this, I was done. And I always give things one episode, like a completely open mind. I'm going to give it one episode. I'm going to watch the pilot. When we're talking about, like, you know, American dramas, I'm going to watch the pilot episode. I will not turn it off. I wanted to turn this one off so bad halfway through the first episode.
Yeah, I did make him watch, like, another episode and a half. We watched 2 episodes of it.
This show should have been called Two People Longingly Stare at Each Other While Saying Nothing. Like, how many scenes in the first 2 episodes they just kind of stare at the back of the other's head while the person walks away. I'm like, oh my God, someone tell me what the hell is going on in this show. Like, there's no development. There's no reason I'm watching this. It was an utter disaster. Like, it doesn't even seem like they wrote the first episode. They just put actors in scenes and had them like, all right, pretend to be a firefighter. All right, now what are we going to do? Well, she's going to walk by and you're going to look at her. Okay, now what? That's it. Like, whoa. Like, no effort put in whatsoever. And by the time they got to the good stuff, or what should have been good stuff, I don't care. Now, I will say, the honorable mention should be Code Japan. Which, like, is on this, and I didn't drop it, and I made Mel watch it, because I was like, let's just finish it. Maybe it'll be something salvageable from this. Like, sometimes I find that there are dramas that are, like, so bad, you're like, oh, you'll find something redeemable about it, or there'll be a cool twist, or something interesting will happen out of it. No, wrong. But I do think these two are way worse. All right, let's go to something a little more positive. The best henchman. And I think we're using the term henchman lightly. Like, I think we just mean, like, main character's assistant, butler, maid,
buddy,
confidant, you know, anybody that kind of helps the main cast. So, best henchman.
So for my choice, it goes to Joe Bokre for Miraculous Brothers. He's, you know, Chung-woo's character's best friend, and he is just super helpful, and he's, you know, one of those, like, supporting friends that will, like, stand by you no matter what you've done, totally understands, like, where you're coming from, you know, doesn't ask too much when they don't need to, but also, like, very caring and very, like, concerned when there's something going on with you. He helps Chung-woo with his mom. He, you know, goes and finds he tails the bad guy and finds, like, evidence that helps Chung-woo. Like, it was just, you know, the perfect henchman.
No, he was great. I think he was one of the strongest relationships in that story. Yeah. And you knew he was going to be there to have Chung-woo's back. Like, it's just, he's going to be there and do the thing. I think it's very similar to my best henchman, which is Lee Xiaopeng from Destined, who is the main character's kind of, like, footman, butler, assistant, servant, whatever you want to call him in those fantasy kind of olden days. Like, he was, like, half servant because he had to do what the main character wanted him to do, but he was also half, like, Jiminy Cricket. Like, he was kind of his conscience. He was kind of like, well, I don't know if you should be doing that. But then also, like, co-conspirator at every turn. Like, he was always willing to, like, get dirty with them, you know, and, like, get in trouble with them. And then I thought that even extended to the female lead when, like, they became kind of a couple. He was, like, kind of on her side. Like, oh, yeah, let's go. Let's, like, hire the henchman to beat up the guy's coworkers, and he's kind of in on it. And so, like, I don't know, there was a air of mischief that I liked. And honestly, in that whole show, I think my favorite character relationship dynamic was between those two guys.
Yeah. So the next category is best first encounter. It is when characters first meet, and I think for me, my award goes to Jim and Won from Moonlight Chicken. There was such this sultry sexual tension between them, and it was just like, it was like almost hard to breathe when you watch them interact. And that first, like, initial encounter where, like, they're meeting each other and, like, they literally are both, like, the same thing is going through their head. And it's like, I want to take you to bed, like, right now. And then, like, they spend the whole night together first of just, like, wandering the streets of their town. And it just has this, like, really, like, a softness, but then it's so intense also. It's, like, so well done. And just, like, for me, that first encounter, it kind of, like, because we're so used to the meet cute, right? Where we're like, oh, like, the one person walks in and it's slow-mo and then they do that hair flip and then the other person is dazed and, like, seeing stars, right? But this feels, like, more grounded, and this is, like, more real life when you just find this connection. And I don't necessarily believe in love at first sight, but I do believe like this attraction, this heavy attraction at first sight. And they fully had that. And it was so nice to see.
Well, for me, I'm all about the bromance. All about the bromance. And so my award goes to Lei Wujie and Xiaosi in Blood of Youth. It's the first encounter where Lei Wujie is basically like coming in from the cold, and Xiaosi sees him as a customer. Oh man, this kid's wearing some nice clothes. We're gonna like get a bunch of money from this traveler. And he comes in and he orders one bowl of plain noodles, and that's it. And then proceeds to have a fight with some bad guys who he thinks he's saving the day, meanwhile trashing the entire inn. And I thought it was full of humor. It was a great starting point for the two characters to build a friendship. And it created a really great arc and potential throughout the whole show. So I really liked the kind of naivety of one of the characters and the kind of confidence of the other, and kind of slamming those two characters together. I really enjoyed. So then we go back to the not so good. This is a award to the worst plot twist. Now I will say, what constitute a lot of times a horrible plot twist is one you don't see coming, because you're thinking, surely they won't do something that stupid. And then they do it anyway.
Well, for me, and for my award, I felt like they hinted it too early. And so literally after they hinted that it could possibly be that plot twist, it no longer like has any justification for anything that happens, because we're like, oh, well, this is going to happen, so none of this has any stakes anymore. Which my award goes to Scent of Time, when Hua Qian is dreaming everything, and then she wakes up at the end, and none of the stuff that we had seen throughout the whole drama actually happened.
It's weird that one, they don't even play it as a plot twist, because they hint at it so hard that it couldn't possibly be anything else. Like, they hint at the fact that this is coming, but if they weren't doing that twist, then what would have those hints be? You know what I mean? Like, it really like tied their hands behind their back. And so it almost doesn't even count as a twist. It's so bad.
Well, they tried to make it a twist, but it was very bad. And the whole time, like, I knew it was coming, but I was like, please don't let it be this. Please don't let it be this, because it makes everything stupid. It makes us feel stupid for even watching it, because we wasted our time on stuff that never fucking happened. Like, we're not rooting for her, for that character that, like, didn't do anything. We were rooting for the person that was trying to right the wrongs. Which, since the righting of the wrongs never happened, your whole story didn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it was really, really, really bad. My award for worst plot twist goes to Oh No, Here Comes Trouble. And that is the twist of the Cupcake Man being the kind of big, bad, murdering villain at the end, which felt so tacked on, so stupid, so unnecessary. Like, the show was doing great things. And when we were watching it, Mel had said a couple times, oh, I think he's the bad guy. And I'm like, but this show doesn't need a bad guy. This show doesn't need a big bad. It doesn't need a twist. He's a good character as he is right now, as this confidant to the police officer. And then they did it, and I'm like, ugh, that's so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, potentially ruining the whole show. I mean, it didn't, the show. I liked the show overall, but it's just so unnecessary.
Yeah. For me, Oh No, Here Comes Trouble could have been Around the World in 80 Days, and because of their dumb plot twist, it really knocked it down.
I sympathize sometimes with like writers and filmmakers and stuff, and I don't know how the process works as much as I do, here in America, but like a lot of times you'll write a story and you'll get feedback that's like, it's just too linear, it just happens too, in order, we need more twists, more turns, and so you're pushed into making things happen that just are unnecessary because someone, whether it's a studio executive or a network executive or someone along the line is saying, oh, we just want more twists, we want more unexpected curveballs, because they think that's good drama. Because if you don't really understand drama on a deep basis, like, twists are good drama, but not twists for twist's sake.
Yeah.
And I think both of these twists were I think the first one, The Scent of Time one, they thought they were really smart. Like, they thought they were making some statement about rebirth that just is ridiculous. And for Oh No, Here Comes Trouble, it's just unnecessary.
Yeah. So our next category is the best cry scene. So for me, my award goes to Roun. He plays Han-gil in Twinkling Watermelon. It is the scene where his dad has just found out that he's been playing in a band, and he's convincing him that this is just a phase and he doesn't want to really be in a band. And Han-gil is like, they're arguing and they're signing, and then the emotions are just rushing up, and his whole, everything is on his face, and it's just, you can just feel those deep rooted emotions of this burden that he felt on his shoulders this whole time, and he's finally exploding because he for once he's pursuing his dreams of what he wants to do, yet he again is being told he shouldn't pursue those dreams, or and he's, all the things that he had deep in his heart is exploding out, and you just feel that explosion. You feel the emotions. He's such a good actor. That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole drama.
And maybe you can tell from the awards so far, but we both really like Twinkling Watermelon, and we
Yes.
probably do a full episode on it,
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
next year.
Yeah. That might be our first episode of the next season.
My best cry scene goes to Peng Xian from Oh No, Here Comes Trouble. The end of the show. I think Mel talked about it in our review of the actual episode, or the actual drama, but it's such a powerful moment for this character who has kind of been bullied, had a friendship, he's been taken along on this adventure, and followed this other character, and they've become really, really close, and they don't even dramatize the closeness all that much until this moment where you realize how much seeing his friend, thinking he's going to lose him, how much that would devastate him. And it all comes rushing out. It's not overplayed, it's not too subtle, it's just kind of perfect for the moment and for the relationship that's been built between these two guys. And it's such a hard thing to do. It's such a hard moment to get right, especially so deep in the show. So I had to have hats off for that.
Yeah. I'm gonna cry just thinking about that scene again.
So the next category is less touchy-feely and more about what really matters, is the action. Now, best action, which is best action overall. I don't think we're talking about best action sequence or scene. I think there's a lot of different sequences and scenes from different ones. We just kind of went overall which series kind of delivered it from top to bottom, and we kind of both agreed that it was Blood of Youth.
Yes, it is unanimous. The award goes to Blood of Youth.
I did think Destined had a couple of good sequences in it. There's a couple of war sequences that were pretty good, but overall it's kind of more palace-y drama. There's really not that much action in it. I thought they missed a lot of opportunity for action by not having them out on their own very long, just kind of walking through the desert. So if they would have done a little more, that would have been in the running to me. But Blood of Youth felt like it was the most diversity of action, and more characters got involved. There's some really cool sequences, like when the senior brother fights all the assassins. You really like the spear girl's the spear's last stand, kind of when she fends off the entire army by herself.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite action scene because she was so badass in it, and she took on a whole army, which is freaking amazing.
And it felt like the actor did a lot of that action. It felt like they did a lot of shots that her face is in. She's twirling the spear. She did amazing. When
I watched her holding that spear and doing all the action scenes, and then when I watched the other girl in Tiger and Crane doing those spear action scenes, and I'm the other girl literally could barely walk and barely hold a spear, whereas the Blood of Youth girl, I can't remember their names now, but was just so amazing. And there were behind the scenes where she's literally getting spear pointers from Lee Hong-yi, and like they're working the spirit, and she's doing it herself. She's working and like just practicing on just holding the spirit, like actually letting it move and like letting it glide in front of her. It's just like there were moments where like she's just like, oh, it almost seems like, oh, she's just a martial artist, you know, but she definitely put a lot of effort into it. Whereas when we watched Tiger and Crane, it was so bad.
Yeah, I've worked with actors who the martial arts come so natural, even though they have no martial arts background. Maybe they have a dance background, maybe they have just an athletics background, and being an athlete as a child translates into good footwork. Good footwork translates into good martial arts. So I've worked with actors that are just so phenomenally talented immediately, and some who you would expect to be athletic and expect to be good, it's like they have two left feet. They can't put the right foot forward. They can't throw a punch, and you're not even sure why they're looking so awkward. And it doesn't matter how much offset training you give them. Like, you're just like, oh boy, we're using a stunt double a lot.
Yeah.
And when you can put your actors in and not have to use the double, it looks better, it shoots easier, and it's just a better product overall.
Yeah. I really wanted My Journey to You to be like amazing action choreography, and it like really failed in that part. And I was expecting My Journey to You like to be this like, you know, epic martial arts drama, and it just has become this very like boring.
Well, there isn't any martial arts in that
drama. I mean, there is.
I mean, so little.
Yeah, but it's so like stylized and so...
We'll probably do a review of that one next year at some point too, unless we just decide to forget the whole thing. But I know what you mean, because the whole thing is stylized. Everything about that drama is over stylized and over dramatized.
Yeah. So our next category is worst action. So as we have said what our best action drama is, our worst action, it's not the same. But for me, the award goes to A Date with the Future, which is another firefighting drama where there was no firefighting, really. There was maybe one scene and that was it, and then everything else was cut out of it. Like, he would rush out to a fire scene, and then the next scene is they've already fought the fire, and he's standing outside in front of the fire truck, like, you know, with some schmutz on his face, and that's it. Yeah, so there was the lack of action in A Date with the Future, even though it could have been a really cool, like, drama where there was, like, some legit firefighting, you know, put into it, but, yeah.
Now mine, this is definitely international drama, but it's a little off the beaten path from what we normally talk about, but this is a movie that I was massively disappointed in. Not that I had huge hopes, I just thought we would turn on a fun, you know, action-packed, shoot-'em-up, kind of like mindless violence kind of movie. And it is a Finnish movie called Sisu, which is basically hit everyone's radar because I think the producers from John Wick put some money behind it in order to distribute it internationally. And it's about a, you know, tougher-than-nails ex-soldier trying to cross the barren landscape of World War II to whatever, who gives a shit. But the action is so uninventive, boring, pointless, action for action's sake. There's no storytelling in any of the choreography. Like, what makes John Wick so freaking good to me is there's storytelling in every single action sequence. There's variety in every single action sequence. You understand what he's trying to accomplish. They put it out in front of you very easily, and then they execute it. And this was just nonsensical, unbelievable, unrealistic. Just, there was nothing that I could take away from this movie that I was like, oh yeah, well, at least that was good. And I just kept waiting for it, and it never came. And so, yeah, Sisu is my worst action. They tried to go big, but it was kind of a disaster to me. So now we get into the little more serious awards than best hair. Standing by this bald cap thing. Anyway, this is going to be the award for the best couple.
So for me, my award goes to Shin Gi-tae and Lee Wan, which they are from Our Dating Sim, which is a Korean BL. And they are just adorable. Their chemistry is really good. And, I want them to date in real life. Because I like to live in my Delulu land sometimes.
Okay.
Even though I don't think they talk anymore, but yeah. Anyways.
My best couple is Jusu and Yuru from Destined. And mainly because of the midnight powwow talks, where I just thought that was the best part of the whole show, where they physically start so distant. They're not even sleeping in the same bed, and they have these kind of midnight powwows and strategy sessions, and that turn into kind of relying on each other, and then those continue all the way through the show. And I was hoping they would continue all the way through the show, because when they started doing it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting that they're playing these roles in public, and then they get back to the room at night, and they kind of have these like State of the Unions together. And I really like that. I thought they were the best couple in any of these costume dramas that we've watched this year. Unfortunately, they did some dumb plotting things, but the couple itself I thought was the strongest.
So our next category is the worst performance of 2023. And my award goes to Big Boom from Future. Future is a 2023 Thai BL, and Big Boom was god-awful, and his crying scenes were just, unbearable to watch. So I really, really hope he could work more on his acting, and yeah.
My worst performance is a little complicated, so maybe I'll just say who it is, and then I'll describe why, to me, it's such a bad performance, which is Rolin Jin from My Journey to You. And it's not that her acting is bad. I think she is acting the exact way she's being told to. It is just so out of tone with the rest of the show, and I know the director is like, oh, comedy relief. She's the comedy relief. The music changes whenever she's on screen. But it's so over the top. She feels like she's out of a different drama completely. And again, I don't think it's the actor's fault. I think this is really poor design.
So the sad thing is, she is actually a really good actress. I've seen her, she does a lot of stage stuff. I've seen her do serious stage performances where she's freaking amazing. But, she has now, since then, created this whole persona. And this is her persona no matter what she's on. On a variety show, and she's, supposedly being herself. That's her persona. In this drama, her persona is part of this drama as this character, as the older sister. And I hate how they have these, certain comedians that, they're known for being a comedian. And then all of it, but it's so, let's make fun of them because they're a comedian. And they're not your, normal, what the public finds as attractive. Then all of a sudden we have to put down these people, and they're, then they're, the butt of the joke. And I hate it when it's, it's not self-deprecating, because she's not really, self-deprecating, but, people are shitting on her, or, as the character, because she's supposedly comedy relief, which it just pisses me off. She's actually an amazing actress, and should be able to have the chance to play all different styles and characters. And instead, she's now been typecasted because she now has this persona of this, the butt of the joke, really.
Yeah, it just wasn't fun to watch. It wasn't, it was just so out of place to me. And it became kind of annoying. I honestly think her and the other guy who lived in the back hill, who have a lot of, that could have been the cutest couple of the whole drama. But she's such a cartoon that it just, every time she's on screen, I kind of don't really pay attention. Well, moving on to best performance. Now we're in the real thick of it. This is the last couple awards here. Best performance of 2023.
My award goes to Zheng Jinghua for Oh No, Here Comes Trouble. We all know, it was our first episode. I absolutely loved Oh No, Here Comes Trouble, and Zheng Jinghua's acting ability is absolutely amazing, in my opinion, and I would love to see more and more of his, different characters that he ends up playing.
I almost picked that one. But I went with So In-ha from Twinkling Watermelon. I think from beginning to end, really, really fantastically well done. And again, we'll probably do an entire episode on this, so we won't go into it too deep. But I thought, amazing job. So before we get into the best drama of the year, we have to do the worst drama of the year. And these are ones that we finished. These aren't ones we dropped. We did not include any of the ones from the dropped category in the worst drama.
So my award goes to Chains of Heart, which is a 2023 Thai BL drama. With, cinematography and things like that. I was having high hopes for it. And then it just became the shittiest of the shits for me. It was like the plot was ridiculous. The acting was fine, but it was just nothing to write home about. But it was just mainly the story was just like so convoluted and I've actually watched some really bad like low budget dramas, but this was like they were freaking trying and they failed so miserably.
I do think that's a bigger sin. I think when you have the resources, you have the actors and the budget and the directors, and you should have producers, and you have all of that at your disposal, and you still make a pile of garbage, I think that's even a worse sin than having no budget and making a crappy movie.
Yeah.
My award for the worst drama goes to Code Japan. The Price of Wishes, which I kept reading as The Prince of Wishes. Both are equally stupid. This was just bad, and if you want to hear exactly how bad, you should go back and listen to the episode where we talk shit about it for damn near an hour.
So now it is the last award, and the best award is 2023's Best Drama, which is unanimous for both of us, and we had just finished watching it. It is Twinkling Watermelon. I believe it is 2023's Best Drama. Twinkling Watermelon.
It's a Korean drama.
Yes.
And time travel element, family elements,
brotherhood, camaraderie,
coming of age,
good romance. Again, we'll probably talk about it in our first episode of next season. We just didn't get to it for this year, but we will go more in detail of what we thought.
And I think it's very unique because this is a story about a young boy who grows up and his entire family except for him is deaf. And so there's a lot of sign language and a lot of like, what is it like to live with a family where you're the only one who can hear? And that's not common in the dramascape to see sign language on screen, to see characters, portraying deaf people. It's very rare. And so, really, really well done. We'll talk a lot more about it in 2024.
Yes.
So if you want to hear more, you have to come back for season 2 of the DramaMeans Podcast.
Yes, definitely. So this will be our last rec of this season. And since it's around holiday season, I'm going to recommend a guilty pleasure of mine. I watch this movie every year. And it is a holiday rom-com, probably like a Hallmark movie.
Oh, it is for sure in the Hallmark movie genre, even if Hallmark didn't produce this movie.
Yes. And I don't usually watch Hallmark dramas, but this is definitely one of the rom-coms that I don't know, it just really sits well with me, and I watch it every year, and I don't get sick of it. So, it is called 12 Dates of Christmas. It is a 2011 U.S. movie, starring Mark Paul Gosselaar and Amy Smart. And I don't know why I like it so much. There's really no frills. There's nothing like super, complicated about it. It is just a simple romantic comedy. And I enjoyed it. And honestly, you kind of start out and you don't really like Amy Smart's character very much because she's so obsessed with her ex-boyfriend and trying to get him back and doing all the wrong things. But slowly on her journey, she starts learning, what is better for her and her family. And her love life, and she finally accepts someone else into her life other than wanting to get her ex-boyfriend back. It's very simple. She meets some new friends along the way. She, learns to help people. It's just kind of this classic movie, the same type of tropes and stuff, the tropes that I like. But yeah, so if you guys ever come across this movie, give it a chance. It's kind of my little guilty pleasure that I watch every year.
There you go.
And that does it for us this year.
Yeah, this is the 14th episode. So we have 14 episodes in. And
a preview episode.
And a preview episode in season 1. Hoping to do at least that many next year. Maybe we'll break it up into 2 seasons, like a pre-summer season and a post-summer season or something like that, depending on how fast we can watch dramas.
We will try to watch a bunch of dramas through the holiday season to kind of have stuff to talk about the beginning of next year. So expect to see us sometime in January, I think.
And yeah, thank you so much for listening here on the DramaMeans Podcast. Please check us out on Instagram. We are DramaMeans _podcast on Instagram. Hopefully, we'll be posting a little bit while we're not doing the podcast, just letting everyone know what we might be talking about in the future and when exactly we're coming back for season 2. Have a happy and safe holiday, everyone.
Yes, and thanks for listening. See you next year.